We should be live in just a moment. I should have wrote some questions.
Commercials.
All right, and there we go. Loading now. Okay, perfect. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, J Money Gaming here, and I am bringing you my first ever interview with LightBulbs Industries. And we're going to be talking about their Kickstarter campaign and their goals in their development life. I am with Mr. Eric and Anthony. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Pretty good. So do you guys have specific titles or something I should be calling you guys?
Nah, just developers. We're
Just
not really.
All right, cool. So how you guys doing today? Anything fun going on?
Not much. Just get done class. Same old stuff.
Excellent.
Other than just dying every 5 seconds in DayZ, not really.
It's a story.
I'm still waiting for the vehicles in DayZ. Once that happens, I'll just be running people over. That's all I care about. But man, so you guys recently got into developing, right?
Yeah. Since our senior project in college.
Okay, cool. So tell me a little bit about it, like how you guys got into the whole development development styles and stuff like that. Like really what led you into it?
Oh boy, this is an interesting one. It basically started out where we just kind of combined me, Anthony, and our other developer Eric into one group, and we just started popping ideas left and right. Me and Eric are huge RPG fans, so it ended up becoming an RPG, and then went to an open world, and then went to huge, massive size, and Anthony kept just shaking his head at us, but agreed.
Had no choice.
Yeah, he didn't. It was 3 against 4. It was interesting. The whole game just came about kind of just piece by piece.
Yeah.
It revolved mostly, like, we started with Fallout, like Fallout style game with that whole open world. We love Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Added more Borderlands elements, added some Skyrim elements, and then just started taking bits and pieces of our own and started jamming them together, and turned into something. The idea was pretty interesting, so we kept going with it even after our senior project.
Okay, excellent. But so you said you made it as a senior project, but like what led into that whole process of you wanting to do it? That's like the big thing that intrigues me, because normally most people will be like, hey, we're going to do a senior project, let's do the easiest thing possible. But you guys went a step further and said, you know what, I want to make a friggin' video game. I mean, that's insane.
I guess the big thing is we had our Eric, our lead, I could call him our lead programmer, hands down, no problem, like any day of the week. He just, I don't even know how to explain him. He's unbelievable. Like he'll find a way to program something, and even if you give him the most ridiculous thing, he'll have it done in like a day,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd always do it. So it ended up being where we kind of just started throwing him ideas, like, yeah, I can do that, and he built us a prototype within a week. And with that prototype, we're like, we could do this. We can take this a full game from beginning to end with him leading the programming, hands down.
That's exactly right. Something that we thought and estimated to take 6 weeks actually took us 1 week. It was incredible. So it was a lot of teamwork. It was a lot of learning in the beginning, but as soon as we got through those learning curves, it was just nonstop hands-in programming, and we got a lot done. So we had the focus and the mentality to do it.
Okay, very cool. And you said the way your games started coming about is you were choosing different games that you really liked, really enjoyed, and you started basing off there, and then eventually it was starting to come into your own. Like, what is the whole universe of the game going to be like? Crimson Wasteland, like, what do you expect that environment to be?
It started out as just being straight on Earth. Like, we started going way too into Fallout. Like, we did post-nuclear war, obviously, because it's a very common factor that could happen in these day and ages, but we put it, 100 years in the future? 150 years in the future?
Right.
From there, it just kind of snowballed, and we were talking one day, and we realized it's too much of a Fallout remake than our own game. So he went on his cruise. Me and Eric kind of were just blanking on everything, and that's when he came up with a robot flavor.
Yeah.
And we ended up building the game right back up from him, using him as our like stone, I guess, like our foundation, and we built the game again around him. And since it's post-nuclear and it's all futuristic, we went interplanetary, and we actually have it half set on Mars and half set on Earth.
Yeah, as the story started to develop and we were starting to get into the more story aspect of it, we realized more and more and more how integral flavor is to the entire game. So what we did was we actually started focusing on what he could bring to the table. So we started focusing more on his AI, the way he looks, the way he operates, and little by little he became the main character of the game. So that's how the game kind of transformed from like a one main character that you're going to be playing as until now you're still that main character, but your AI controlled robot companion is actually technically the main character.
Okay, so that would be kind of like what do I want to say? Kind of like, I guess, The Last of Us, when you were the big strong guy running around, but the whole story based around the girl, or like in The Walking Dead, when you were, I forgot the guy's name, the big black guy, and then he was like looking over.
Yeah, the story is
Ellie
just,
was all about the person. So yeah, so that's
the story
really
is more
cool.
deep than just the main character itself. It's a very story driven game, and that's exactly what we're trying to go for. It's a player's game. It's a game that you want to feel involved with, and that's what we're trying to bring to the table.
Okay, very cool. And you were talking about AI just now.
hmm
A lot of people talk about AI, and that's something that could really make or break the game. How is he going to be used in the game? Is it something where you bark commands at him and he'll do it, or does he kind of have like a sense of self-control? Like if he sees something coming at you, will he be able to protect you, or is it
He's
something where you need to tell him to do it?
this is where it got good.
Yeah.
Eric is he turned into after he programmed our prototype, he hasn't touched it since. He's been literally flavor. That's all he's done. The AI we built is basically a learning curve AI. It learns exactly how you play, and it basically it builds. You can kind of set them to how you want them. Like if you're an offensive player, you kind of want to send the defense because he'll watch your health, he'll watch your radiation, he'll heal you, he'll do all that for you. Kind of if you start getting attacked, he will then proceed to attack, but he won't attack anything else if they're not attacking you.
Gotcha.
He also has like offensive, which literally he just attacks anything in sight. It's more of like a guns a-blazing part. He can take damage and stuff, and he can die, but he's a lot more powerful than you are. Whether he's upgraded or not, he's going to be a little bit more powerful than you are. So he learns basically how the game plays.
And everything is upgradable too. Even in our Kickstarter page, if you guys take a look at it, some of the bonuses you get with your donations is actually what's called a flavored chipset. Now, these chipsets can boost his capabilities way past what you normally can without it. So with these flavored chipsets, you can have defensive, you can have offensive, balanced, anything you want. You can upgrade his minigun, you can upgrade his flamethrower. Every single thing that has to do with flavor you can upgrade. You can make his AI more intelligent, you can make it dumber. It's really revolutionary in terms of how the player reacts with his companion.
Okay, very cool. And guys, they did just mention their Kickstarter. I am live streaming this, and this will also be transferred over to my YouTube. So for those of you on Twitch, if you look right down below, if you're on the actual website, there will be a link that will send you directly to the Kickstarter. And if you are on YouTube, I'll either have a annotation somewhere around my box or in the description below. So excellent. And you were just talking about upgrades for him and how they can like give him like the surge of power and stuff. How do you come across those? Is it something that you would end up buying? Is it something you would find? Is it? I'm not sure if there would be like a craft setup to it. Like how would you end up doing that?
Yeah, so with the currency system, you can actually purchase them, but for the most part, you're going to be finding them on the ground. Their rarity is dependent on exactly what it is. There's some things that boost the attack, like skyrocket high, and then there's some things that you'll just find on the ground that maybe increments it by one. Now, these chipsets, they're interchangeable. You have to be at the home base to actually change them. That's another thing that we tried to do to make it complicated because flavor can die in the real world. So with these chipsets, it actually allows you to, you know, build upon it, Eric.
Okay. And then I just saw, does Flavor torque or does he just pop and stuff?
Yeah, I'll answer that because I could probably talk forever with that. Basically, he talks, but he's like Bender. He has that robot mouth. That's what's with the big square screen on his front mouth. So he does bop around, he does malfunction at times because he is post-war. Like you find him, God, what 20 years after the war? Like that's when you go back to Earth to try to find this robot because it was the one and only ever made, and it was your father's who ends up getting killed in a raid, and all this other stuff happens. I'll try not to spoil too much of the story. He Flavor basically is like post-war, so he has malfunctioning parts, and he starts bobbing and weaving, and he'll sometimes just fall into the dirt, and you kind of got to pull him out. That was a fun programming thing we had to do, but and he'll talk, but he won't really. He'll say useful stuff at times, but he won't really give away too much. He just kind of will scream and yell when there's an enemy near you, and then just take care of him anyway.
Yeah, we have some funny animations too. You guys.
Oh yes, we do. That was very fun.
Okay. Yeah, the animation part of it was very, very fun.
So is it to be expected it might be a little bit like the robot from Borderlands 2 where he just ends up running around at times saying really weird random stuff and then...
Oh, yeah. That was my favorite character of all time in any video game ever. And I got to give kudos to 2K for building... That is just... Claptrap is... If I could have a Claptrap, I would be in my glory. But when we thought of him, Anthony was thinking of him more as like an actual drone bot, and I was like, no. You got to go with something stupid. We just kind of combined Claptrap into our robot floating, and since he's floating, you can do more with him because he can just kind of go zoom off away and kind of just start floating away and stuff.
And there's seriousness with him too. The story does get deep, so. The
story does get very, very deep with him. You actually find out that he actually isn't just a robot, but I'll leave it there before he yells anymore.
Yeah, so
mind blown.
Yeah, mind blown, right? Yeah, he's just not your ordinary robot. I mean, it's kind of a comic relief. That's exactly what we were going for him. But also at the same time, he is your Swiss Army knife. He's everything for you. He's the very reason why the game is what it is.
Okay, and you said that he is able to die in the game. If he does die, is it something where it's like GG, or can you like grab him, drag him back to like the base or something, and like try to fix him up, heal him up, and stuff like that?
The second part of that, he can die. You get screwed. It's horrible. How we have it now, he dies. You're done.
You're done.
You can't use anything. He's what sends you fast traveling wise. So you can't fast travel anywhere when he dies. You can't get in our. We have a mech riding system. Basically, for anyone, because Titanfall is so big, I'll just call them Titans right now to make it easier. There's like Titans that you can actually ride. That because we don't like the whole open world where you have to walk everywhere. That's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
DayZ, Fallout, Skyrim. I get so annoyed. Even though Skyrim has horses, they're still. So he basically gets put inside the Titan and allows you to ride him, like allows you to ride it, and he controls it basically how you want. So you can't do that. You can't craft certain items. You can't do much, and you got to protect yourself then now. You have to watch
radiation, everything.
You have to start watching all your stats again. Like you have to watch your health. You have to watch your radiation intake. He basically just covers everything for you. Like we made it where you literally just shoot anything you see and follow the story if he's alive.
Yeah,
okay.
It's like running gun basically when he's alive. If he's not alive, you're done.
Yeah, when he is dead though, he can come back to life. What you actually do is you go back to the main laboratory that's on the planet, and with that you find the necessity pieces to put him back together. So it is some equipment that you also have to grab on your travels back to put him back together. And then once he's put back together, then the game goes from where it is, but you actually have to backtrack throughout the rest of the story again. So when he dies, I guess you can kind of say that it's like a GG, but not really because the game story is still progressing.
Okay.
The other thing I guess I should mention is if he has any chipsets in his upgrade system, like it's a hub that you put him in. You don't put him directly into the robot. They do fry because they don't have any connection to the robot, so they overload in the reactor and they burn. So you actually lose all his upgrades if he dies.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's why you really try to protect him.
Alrighty. Like that's just like insane, like that you put like that much time and thought into this like little
tiny crate.
Yeah.
It's funny how they actually all came out to be, but I mean that's exactly what we wanted with our story, and it actually works a lot well. It's a mixture of a lot of things, but it's not stealing from anybody. It's really new.
Okay, very cool. So you guys decided to call the game Crimson Wasteland. How did you come upon that particular name?
A lot of infighting.
I was waiting for that question. That's if we start going to each other's necks, I'm sorry. We spent I think 2 weeks. We had class once a week with our senior project class, and we spent 2 weeks, almost the entire 5 hours of class, both times, debating on a name. We came up with Crimson Wasteland, and we all hated it. We left it, and it grew on us. And then when we started building the story, we actually build the story with the that you actually call Earth Crimson Wasteland, because I started researching stuff. I started researching like what radiation turns into after years of just sitting in the atmosphere, and it actually turns a crimson color if it's a high enough radioactive percentage.
Okay.
So
and it gives it a crimson. It gave the Earth atmosphere a crimson overlay, and that's why we call it Crimson Wasteland, because the wasteland, quote unquote, is Earth.
Yeah, it's a reddish pink color, so it's not completely ugly, but LightBulb Industries, that's an even funnier.
Okay.
He looked up at a light bulb and said light bulb, and I added Industries, and that was the end of that. It took us 2 seconds to get the name for that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of time and effort coming into that name.
Yeah,
he looks up and goes, light bulb. I'm like, Industries, and boom, done. No, that was it.
Excellent. Okay.
I guess I should say, our friend Adam just asked a question about where his name originated from, Flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It actually is an acronym. I guess I should probably state that. Do you want to go with this one, Ant?
Yeah, let's hear what this acronym is.
All right. It stands for Free Levitating Armored Vehicle with Optimizing Robotics. Flavor.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. I mean,
it reminds me of Shield from when they said what Shield was. Was that Avengers? I forget if it was Avengers or it was another movie. One of the other ones. When they named Shield and it was some long name and they just came into Shield. It's kind of what we were going for.
Gotcha. Oh man, but that's cool though that you end up coming up with all that. So here's a question that I was thinking about. So it's going to be a role-playing game. It's going to be story-driven. Is it going to be like a very linear story where it's only one way of doing things, or is there going to be a way where maybe there's some side quests you can do, or are you just pushing people down the road with this one story, focusing on that so it's the best that it can be?
We're trying. We were first looking at doing a very open, like 3-4 different ending paths, and then we kind of started sitting down but we started like making trees. Like me and Eric started sitting around and making trees of like the story, and we realized that the more you got into it, the further along the trees got, and it was like, okay, for as small as the development team we are, that would take so long that we'd probably have to dedicate a whole year just to that. So we ended up going with like a whole, almost like how Skyrim does. They have their main story quest, and then they just have side quests off the side. And like they fill up a lot of the game. You can run through the main quests in like 6-7 hours, but the game itself takes forever. So we're looking more at that. So I guess linear main story with a bunch of side missions.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, and the story is the main focal point. I mean, I love story-driven games. I know any gamer loves a story-driven game, but we do want those extra side quests to be involved when, just to add extra fun and longevity to the game. We don't want a game where you're going to play it, you love the story, you loved it very much, and then you're not going to play it again. We want something that you could play again, get a different experience, maybe put Flavor in a different position, maybe play defensive maybe this time, and something that can have a different feel for the game.
Okay. Very cool. Hold on, we are going to end up tweeting this out again to get more people in here. And that's actually a very cool story. So you said you're a smaller team. How many is it again? 3 of you?
We have 3 of us are programmers. 2 of us are, me and Anthony are we basically designers right now. We did actually just add last week, actually literally a day after we launched our Kickstarter, which kind of stinks, but we actually added a very, very talented designer. He's from England, which makes it even better, and he's a huge afro, but I'll stop doing that.
Wait, what?
Don't embarrass him.
Yeah, right? Kyle, if you're out there, I'm sorry. I had to give away the afro. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
He sent me his portfolio stuff. I started looking. I've been looking for a designer. My good friend Nick I was hoping would jump in, but he got a job in the actual industry, and I was like, oh, I can't really bother him now. He did help us with our weapon though. You have the file, the one sword that he made that for us. That was actually our first weapon. That was probably before even our alpha came out, he made that sword for us.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And but we added a designer. He's building us a concept right now, a concept piece to show off the world, so we can actually see. You can see what the world's going to look like. I gave him a whole long list of what should have in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's been working. He's been nonstop working on it. He said he should have it by the end of the week, but so keep an eye out for that on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, we get an email notification from him almost every day.
And then I have a very good friend that I haven't seen her since like middle school, probably. I just met up with her the other week. We went to a bar, and she said she just graduated with a sound engineering degree, and she's got her and her one good friend are like absolutely amazing at sound. Mm-hmm. And the trailer, if any of you have seen the trailer, that trailer, the music, it's all live session recorded guitar. It's nothing but guitar in that trailer, and those two were able to hammer it out. Kudos to Tyler. He was the one that did the live session, and then Jess is our other one. She's going to be our sound effects. Mm-hmm. So we've been growing slightly. Yeah, so about what is that, 6 strong?
Yep, 6 strong.
Very cool. Well, since you just mentioned the trailer, I'm actually going to show that off right now, so everyone could take a look at. Here we go.
This bad boy in a while.
I guess I should just point out while it's playing, that music is all absolutely 100% live recorded session.
Yeah, it's all guitar, you said, right?
Yep. With the beginning, I told him to put the synthesizer back in because to get the typing text, but everything else is all guitar.
And this is the main ship. Eric, did you describe the main ship, Omega Titan?
Omega Titan. No, that's another thing we're going to do.
Omega Titan, do you copy?
The trailer's about to finish up, so.
Yeah, we reveal Flavor there. We decided to reveal him. One of my good friends from work actually did a voiceover for us because I had a really crappy wording on that screen before, and it was kind of funny. Yeah, everyone hated it. Every single person hated it, so I got a voiceover done.
That's alright, though. That's awesome, like, how far along you guys are right now. If you had to consider the part in the process where you guys are in, it's definitely like a pre-alpha, but everything from what I've been seeing is look very smooth. It has a nice feel and style to it. What more are you trying to plan to add into the game, like once the Kickstarter and everything is completed and stuff like that?
Like we've said before, we have the entire story there. We have some assets, but in reality, the game is pre-alpha version. It does look like a pre-alpha version game, so we're going to boost up our graphical output. So we're going to make everything look better, feel better. Everything's going to be smoother, work more on AI. AI is a very important thing because we don't just want Flavors AI. We want enemy AI. We want worlds. We need to start working on level design into a broader spec. Now we have small levels here and there, but we need to actually create the entire game in its entirety.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So we've been talking about the past, like what led up to this point, how you started working on it. Since you guys are a new developer, what are you planning to do? What do you want your development team to become and turn into?
Well, for me, I think our personal goal should primarily be learning from every experience. We want to make a fantastic game, but we don't know everything. We want to learn from our experiences. We want to better ourselves. We want to get into the industry. That is our ultimate goal. And we not only want to just get into the industry, we want to thrive in the industry. The East Coast doesn't really have that many video game programming studios, so LightBulb Industries is something that we could decide in the long run to actually be a studio where East Coast developers can grow, thrive, and get introduced into the game industry.
Okay, very cool. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And would you guys want to stick, like, once this one's off the ground and going, are you going to be, do you want to pretty much try to stay geared toward the role-playing aspect of things, or would you want to branch off from there as well?
I might get yelled at for this by Eric later. I'm gonna break his heart because I'm gonna mention something. He's into all different genres. So am I. Anthony's the first person weirdo. He's all he ever plays.
Yo, shut up.
Kids never played Fallout and Skyrim first off, so we gotta crack on him for that.
Fuck you, I got Skyrim on here.
Oh, Fallout, my bad. He's never played the good one. But I mean, Eric's been throwing off ideas at us, and he has one that's like, I'm not gonna give it away too much. Oh god, what game is that? It's like a GTA, the way GTA story is set up, but it's more involved with actually having to control each character, and it's permadeath. So he has ideas that are out off the RPG role, and I love them. We want to go mobile too. Like we've been thinking about doing a little mobile game off the side just to get built up a little bit.
We want to find something that we're going to thrive in. We're not going to sit to one genre because you can't just sit with the one genre. I mean, you can make a fantastic role-playing game, and then the next one is horrible. Look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty 4 was fantastic, and then after that, it's just nothing but junk. Okay. So,
and then you have games like Wasteland that came out in, 1980s, and they've just made the second one in 2014, and it's brand new. It looks amazing, and I've been watching. I've been following it like crazy, and it's one of those things where you can't beat it. Can't beat a dead horse. Like you just can't. The RPG genre is just as full as your first person one. So you gotta stick with it. You gotta kind of go off to the side and stuff.
Yeah, and we're not gonna grow as a development team just by sticking to one genre. You can actually bring stuff from other genres into another. We can create a new genre if we learn many other genres and develop for many other genres. So. We just want to grow and develop as an industry in its whole.
Okay, excellent. And obviously, you can tell that you guys both have a big passion for gaming. So I want to know from both of you, what is your favorite game and why? And the second part of that question is, what was your least favorite game and why?
Oh God. And you have any idea?
Well, I already know my favorite game of all time. Actually, it's my favorite trilogy of all time, Mass Effect. I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. I thought the story was absolutely riveting. The way that they allowed for multiple branches of the story, it felt like you were actually the player. I mean, that is my long-term goal, to create a game as good as that and as complete as that. I mean, the first Mass Effect was so revolutionary, and then the second one just built upon it, and the third one, it was so good.
Oh. Except the end of the third one, because the ending of the third one was pretty bad.
I love the ending. I don't know why people. I don't know why people complained.
Could stand it.
It was so good. Like, it was a perfect ending to a series. They did not want to make another game. They wanted to end on a strong final note, and they did. And people didn't like it.
And then they did again, and then again.
Yeah, because people don't like a regular ending. What they did was fantastic for the game industry, but people just like what they've already seen. They tried to do something different, and it didn't pay off for them, but I enjoyed it.
I can't. I can't even. I gotta look at my games over here. I don't even know which one I could pick. Oh, you know what? It's gonna sound crazy because I'm an Xbox guy, but Kingdom Hearts is my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Hands down, Kingdom Hearts. Just 1 and 2. I don't like the whole middle weird stuff and all that.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out soon. Xbox 3.
I know. Xbox. Kingdom Hearts is easily my favorite game.
Nah, it's a fantastic game, but it's out. It's been out for too long.
It's all that weird middle crap from on DS. I can't stand that stuff. Now, worst game.
It's hard. It's very, very hard.
My least favorite. What I'm trying to look. Oh, you know what? I guess I can't say least favorite because I love the trilogy. I'm gonna go with Elder Scrolls because I just read the comment that Adam said. Gears of War Judgment. Huge disappointment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a huge disappointment.
Absolute huge disappointment.
I don't know.
You have no idea, do you?
I'm not very critical on games. I love video games in every shape, way, or form. I've never really had a game where I would throw it away. I mean, I do a lot of research before I buy a game anyway. I follow a game pretty hard, and I don't pick a game up. Maybe a huge disappointment would be the Driver that just came out. I anticipated it being a lot better, and it wasn't really the same driver that it was back for PlayStation back in the day when we were kids. Other than that, I don't really know. Okay.
It's really funny that your webcam keeps freezing on the funniest still shots.
Yeah, well, I hate you.
See, much love from us.
Yeah. I don't know. Snipers was pretty hard too. I got Snipers 2 on my PC. That game was pretty hard. Wasn't very good. CryEngine looks beautiful though. I think CryEngine.
Oh, don't even get me started because Kingdom Come looks absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. CryEngine's really, really good. Uh-oh, did we lose somebody? Technical difficulties. Hey, look, my face froze again.
Yeah, I think
I muted myself. Whoops.
Let's say I was like, I see him talking, but he's not answering, or he's not.
Excellent. That just shows how pro I am, right?
That is awesome. That was great.
So guys, let's talk about how not to do a interview. One is having a mute switch on your headset, as shown here, and accidentally flipping it.
Oh yeah, Fable 2 did suck.
That was so random.
I do have it on my computer, and I'm just waiting to try it, build up the energy. But what I was trying to say was, someone from the live stream actually had a question for you guys, because I think they were talking about the second game you were thinking about making, where they said if permadeath, what about the casuals who would die once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then give up on a game? Does something like that, would that worry you, or would there be workarounds, maybe save spots or something like that?
It's the way he was explaining it to me is it's built. He wants to build it as like a. Once one dies, you can still play as the other 3 characters, so the story changes. If you die 2 times, like 2 characters die off, then the 2 are left, and then the story changes again. If a 3rd one dies, the story changes once again, and you have the last character. If that character dies off, you actually get an ending. Okay. So it's one of those things where they keep dying off, and the story just changes completely.
So it's like the game that was on PS3. What was it when they were trying to find a killer? You can control.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember the name either.
I can't remember the name. Where you could literally go through it, and then depending on what happened in the game, it would determine who the actual killer was. But if someone died or got hurt, that person would be gone, and then you would just move on to the next character. And I can't remember the name, and that was friggin' awesome. Oh. I wish I could remember the name of that.
Yeah, no, now it's gonna bother me. Ant's apparently having technical difficulties with his laptop.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's very technical. Just turn it off and turn it back on. Hopefully it'll fix it. Nope, not at all. Whatever.
Okay.
That's not a bad still shot.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Okay. I'm trying to think of what other questions I might have. You guys have been really good at answering all my questions, and I really do appreciate it. The one thing I would have to ask, oh, we got you back now. Yes.
Sweet deal.
Is if you had the chance to work with one development company, who would it be and why?
Bethesda. I could hands down work for Bethesda. Oh, not only because of the games they put out, just their work environment. I know a couple of my friends that graduated from Full Sail actually work for them, and their work environment they keep telling me about is unbelievable, and it's very homey. They said, and they make good games. They make RPGs. They make great games. They've never really put out a sleeper that I can think of, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, and mine would probably be Google. I've been a huge Google fan ever since Google was little.
Since they were baby Google before they were taking over the world?
Little baby Google, when they were just a search engine, not like the ruler of the world right now, like they're going to be in 10 years, you know?
They're going to buy Walmart. They're going to buy everything.
They are. They're going to buy the U.S. It's just how it's going to happen.
Probably.
You know
Someone needs to bail us
We're
out.
going to live happily. No, but yeah, that's been a long time, dream of mine for a long time. At least get the opportunity to work for Google. Their interview process is just ridiculous. You actually have to pass through 15 interviews to actually land a job there. So
damn,
it's pretty intense, to say the least.
That must be one hell of a job once you get in.
Yeah, they have the best satisfaction rating of any employee in the country, so it's something to look forward to.
Okay.
I guess one thing we should say about, I guess we go back to our game for once. It is third person, and it's one thing that I guess we really couldn't really show it off on the Kickstarter because we'd have to show the video of our gray naked character, which is absolutely hilarious. But we built it. We're very into camera angles, all of us. Like we just love having different camera angles for different types of things, but we don't like it where it's going to kind of interfere with the game. So we built it. We built it basically where you could play as two different types of player, a melee or a ranged combat, basically guns. And the melee goes into like a Diablo, Eagle, what is that called? Bird's eye. There you go. Bird's eye view camera is not as high up as Diablo, but it's up there because you can see everything around you. Then we go with classic third person, like almost as close, not as close as Dead Space, but getting there.
Okay.
So it gives you, and you can flip between them as you please. Like it's not like one of those things where it's gonna flip when you have a certain weapon out. If you want to shoot in a linear fashion, like you can't look up and down, you can use the melee camera shooting. You can't look up. So if an enemy's above you, you're kind of screwed.
Okay, very cool. So would it ever? I'm trying to think because I know it's like some games that give you multiple vision sets. Is there ever going to be one of those things where it's going to kind of force you into one, where maybe if a wall's blocking or something like that, or will it just adjust accordingly?
It'll just adjust accordingly. We're still hammering out some of the, like, there's little camera glitches and stuff, like you can actually see through our main mountain, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
okay.
But it just
far away.
Yeah, it's just little things like that, but it'll adjust as you go in buildings and stuff. You're obviously going to third person when you go into a building because it would be weird if you could see outside the building when you're in it.
That'd be very interesting. That'd be kind of cheating, I think.
Oh, that's where our alpha sits right now. You can actually see above the building you're in. It's really weird.
Really?
Yeah, it is very good.
Yes.
It's kind of awesome, though.
It is.
Not really. No.
I have a question for Anthony. And what about Crimson Wasteland excites you the most? What part do you think are really going to appeal to the players?
Like I said, I'm a story-driven fan, so I've actually love our story right now. Where our story stands, the entire scripting of the story. I'm not going to go into any details about it, but from where it stands, the way flavors integrated into the game is just absolutely magnificent. I've never been so into a game before, so I'm actually really looking forward to the story and the way flavor is implemented.
Okay. So, excellent. Like, you've literally answered all my questions. I want to see if anyone in the chat has any other questions that they have or are interested in knowing. While we wait for that, do you guys have any other comments or anything you want to tell us about the game?
Yeah, do you want to talk about the Kickstarter, Eric?
I mean, I could. Our Kickstarter, when I built that thing, I beefed it up. I led that thing completely. Those two barely touched it, except proofreading, because my English is absolutely atrocious. At least writing. And I built the Kickstarter around more or less because we don't have AAA style art. We don't have like a well-known designer to design all of these things we need. We're two of us are just out of college, and that one's about to finish. So we're not, by any chance, gonna have like AAA style graphics like Skyrim and Kingdom Come, the new one that just got super funded. But we have, like, as you can see, the J-Money's. He's doing it. Our swords are one of my favorite weapons. I just basically told my friend Nick, listen, I need a sword. I just need a sword that's futuristic looking. Popped that out in 2 days. I was like, that's just incredible. That sniper Anthony built, that's incredible. It actually animates a lot.
Yeah, it's got.
But I can't really show that in a picture. That I just built the other day, and I wanted to build a plated hammer that basically it's an electric hammer. Basically, hit the ground, it electrocutes everything. And someone wants that sword hanging on their wall. I wish I could make it. That'd be awesome.
There might be a place you actually can. I think there's a couple places online where you can have custom swords and stuff. Maybe just saying.
That would be awesome if I could do that.
Yeah, Kickstarter long goal.
As he goes through it, I explain a lot. Our main focus was flavor. He's our selling point of the game. If he can't sell it, then the game's not going anywhere. I can hands down say that. He's our main focus right now. He's always been our main focus.
Yep, I'm actually doing a close up on his concept art right now.
Yeah, it's lagging behind me, but his art, we built him. it's not. This isn't his final version. We won't ever show the final version until the absolute end of until we launch the game. You won't see his post-war version, only because he's built slightly different than this because he starts getting slapped together and he looks really weird. This is how he looks naturally, though. He has a Gatling gun for arm, as you can see, in his left, which is just, who doesn't want a Gatling gun arm? That's just awesome.
I would want one. I'm just saying.
Exactly. And then that thing that has the orange in it, that's actually his laser. That's what fast travels you. It does everything you need. It can put bubbles around you to shield you from radiation, and he runs off of radiation. So and in here, the blueprint that you'll see in the Kickstarter, it actually explains everything that he has. Those eyes he has, quote unquote eyes that you would probably think they're sensors. They change color depending on his mood. Well, I guess not really mood, but state. If he's offensive, he's red and so forth. And if he's hurt, it'll tell you. It's different colors for. I can't remember all the colors. There's so many.
Okay.
But we basically built it. The story's down there. We did a timeline format instead of having someone read 17,000 paragraphs because that just seems really stupid.
Yeah.
But I did just a timeline, just going from the backstory to the beginning of the game, and then that's it. I don't give anything else after that.
Very cool, though.
And like Adam said, Adam is right. Since for anyone that has used Unity or knows what Unity is, Unity has a super community-driven engine, which is great for indie developers. It's perfect for us. Because there's assets on the store that we can take, modify, and stuff, it'll save us time and us pulling our hair out trying to design things that we could never probably design as programmers, because three of us are programmers. So we're trying to drive the game in a sense that it's going to play a lot better than it's going to look initially. It's not going to look like, as you see the screenshots on the Kickstarter, it's not going to look that crappy. We're going to actually beef up the graphics, and we're going to get, like I said, I have one designer on it. He's going to build mostly our main assets. Me and Anthony can design weapons fairly well, so we will design most of the weapons. But when it comes to filling the world with futuristic stuff, Unity has so much stuff to offer that we could use and utilize just to pull assets from the store, edit them, put them in our game, actually texture them how we want them, but we don't actually have to sit down and spend the 2-3 months it might take us to build these, as we already have them pre-made. And we obviously give everyone credit, but we're building it like a community-driven game more or less than 5 of us doing it.
Yeah, and to reiterate on what we were saying before, this is a pre-alpha version. When you're doing pre-alpha, you're not really worried about the graphics. You're more interested in exactly how the game flows, how it looks. I mean, flavor can change 1 month down the road. He can change a year down the road. It's something that we're continuously adapting and overcoming, but the graphics aren't our primary focus right now. It's more or less the gameplay and the way everything flows together. We just want to make sure that's 100% implemented and it's a way that we like before the graphical overhaul would have to go into play. You don't build a game with high-def graphics first. You build it little by little. Most game developers build it with cubes and blocks and all that stuff before they actually put the game into play. So we're not really heavily focused on graphics right now, but that is a priority down the road.
Excellent. Yeah, so don't worry, guys. You are going to see a big
Definitely
increase with the graphics.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's all pre-alpha. It's not even
alpha yet.
Nope.
And if anyone's noticed, our launch quote unquote we're looking for is next Christmas, not 2014, 2015. Mm-hmm. The game as it sits now, if I was allowed to, or because they would yell at me because it looks just graphically bad, it runs. It actually plays exactly how it should right now.
Yeah.
Like the programming itself is, I mean, Eric's just kind of beefing up some scripts and rewording them and just reworking them to make them really easy to use and add stuff. Mm-hmm. The latter end of 2 years of that 2 years is going to be spent just asset designing. So we're going to be spending more time designing than we are programming after the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and over time, once our Kickstarter succeeds, basically what we're going to do is we're going to go on a graphical overhaul. We're going to start doing a hardcore level design. We're going to sit down. We're going to build each step, storyboard, the levels, that kind of stuff. What kind of paths the people can play. And then while that, we're going to start recruiting as well. We don't just want one graphic design artist. You should have a couple. That way the work isn't heavily reliant on that one person. So we'll also be recruiting so that we can get the stuff done as well.
Excellent. So as the time gets closer, you'll be looking for help, and that's really cool.
Yep.
Excellent. So when it does get closer to launch, is there any talks about what price points you might be looking at for the game or how you're going to figure that out?
I mean, as it sits now, we're looking at like just keeping it around $10. We're not looking to blow people's pockets away with, we're like an up and coming indie studio, so might as well get it out there easier by just charging less money for it right away.
Yeah.
I know I emailed Steam about it because I was gonna throw it on Greenlight and stuff, and they were looking at it and they said, well, it'd be probably like, at the end of it when it's done, it'd be like 20. I was like, but we want 10, so
Yeah.
But Steam was actually, they want us to actually greenlight it too. So that's what we're looking to do after we actually complete it. That's a big thing. Is they want us to actually throw it on greenlight because they think it'll actually work, go right through it.
Really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we've been in communication with both Kickstarter and Greenlight, so it's something that we're on the up and up to do. We just need to get through this first hurdle. Once we get through this first hurdle, we're golden. The hurdle's getting everything started.
Our issue is because all our software costs a crap ton of money. That's where the Kickstarter comes in for anyone. Because I know 15,000 for real small indie studios seems like a lot. For just covering our game engine and 3ds Max, which we actually need to buy a license for because they've been on our butt about it. It's going to be about, I think it's about 10 grand just for 3 of us.
I actually created an expense worksheet so I can actually pull that up, bro.
Yeah, it's just like just under 10 grand for just that, and then we need to buy like Photoshop for texturing and this, that, and the other thing. It comes out to where we have like nothing left.
Yeah, it leaves out to actually about, I want to say about 2,800, and that 2,800 goes completely to assets and designs from Unity's website. So, I mean, we're not making any profit here. What we're trying to do is build a community-driven game. We're trying to start an industry. We're building something great. That's what we're going for. We're not trying to make money on this.
Okay. Very cool though. Excellent, guys. Well, I really do appreciate you guys coming up here, talking to me about your game. Pretty much just giving me the insight on how you feel on things. Excellent. So,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
No problem, man. Again, for everyone watching, if you do want to help out and help them support this Kickstarter, down below on Twitch is a quick button, and I'll also link it in the chat for you guys, so you can go there and read up a little bit more on it. Thank you, Urban, since you did that for me. I think. Oh, nope, you didn't. Boom. There you go. Or if you're watching on YouTube, there will be something in the description, or you can click on my lovely face if you have annotations available, and it will also send you directly to the Kickstarter. Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Yeah. No, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there that's looking to support us or will support us. I mean, this is a great endeavor for us, and getting backers and starters isn't just good for us, it's great for everybody. We're trying to build a community-driven game here, and this is the first step to our greatness that we could possibly have. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching this and, backing us up.
Yes, I just can reiterate what he said.
Okay.
Well, aren't you the man of words?
Right? He said it all, so I don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So guys, I'm actually going to leave the Skype call momentarily, and I'll come back after I end the actual live stream. But for those people who are here supporting us, I am going to do a mini giveaway to you guys. So I will rejoin the Skype call in a moment, all right?
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's good. And any questions that pop up, guys, pop up some questions on chat.
Excellent. So guys, thank you all for watching this live stream today. It was a little shorter than the normal tend to be stream. And actually, let's switch pages real quick. Bada bing. And we are going to do a Steam game giveaway.